Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope everyone's doing well, staying safe, doing all the things we need to do. Today's sorry, I'm running late. Harry broke his Switch, and his mum fixed it, so I'm off the hook until he breaks it again. Today's a pretty important day. It's actually Anzac Day in Australia and New Zealand. Where we remember all those that have fought in all of the wars. So this morning, with the times that we're having, normally we have like a dawn service and people can go and commemorate and remember together, but we're not allowed to. So everyone went out to the front of their house and we listened to the last post, which is like a bugle dedication to the whole thing. And I stupidly set my alarm for tomorrow morning, but I still woke up just in time to at least stand at the window. And it was a really amazing sight that had my neighbors that had a candle out in the middle of the street. And I thought it was pretty special. So I just wanted to bring that up. And I'll probably talk to Funk about that a little bit as well, because I know that he has some history with the with the forces. Now, who's here? Rob93. Thank you for sharing out the stream. Appreciate it. I had to subscribe to you again for some reason, which is stupid because I always get notifications when you're going live. So I'm like, well, I definitely am subscribed. So I don't know why YouTube's playing funny tricks on us. GRB, Aqua Funk's here. That's good. That means I won't be alone. HC Aqua, Jesse, how are you? He's in a meeting. That's all good. Lottie, the Hat Man, yes. I'm pretty sure Lottie just comes in and just to call me the Hat Man every stream. Tiffany Rose, Kiwi Mamo. There you go. Anzac Day over there, lest we forget exactly. Chad Crotts, all in tanks. And Cichlids23, how are you? Now, without further ado, the man himself, the super fly, funky fry, funkadelic, Aqua Funk. How are you?
Funky fry, yes. Funky fry like rally. Y'all don't have rallies out there, do y'all? Or checkers?
No.
Oh, man, those fries make you want to slap your mama. These fries is delicious. These fries are delicious, seriously.
No, I'll have to try it one day if I ever get over there. But how are you?
So, hey, I'm good. I'm busy, actually, oddly enough. I made it a point to not let this whole thing going on totally drag me down. So I'm doing my best to stay moving forward in this whole fish tube and my fish at home, which your fish at home relates to fish tube relates to your fish at home when you're a creator. So I got a lot in the works, but I'm not letting it hold me down.
It's a really good outlet. We're sort of lucky in a way with fish. They don't really get affected by what's going on. So all of a sudden, more time at home, I've been able to do a little bit more. And some of the things I thought, I want to do that, but it'll take too much time and be too tricky. I've been able to do all of them so far. It's been good.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, and this is the thing about being a creator on YouTube is where, unfortunately, right now, I've taken a hit on hours at work.
Yep.
But what I'm trying to do is use that, towards FishTube. Like, as well as I do, that's not going to come right away. But maybe down the line, I'll see dividends on what I'm doing now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because money's tight right now. But like I said, maybe down the road, year or 2 or 5, it'll pay off. Hey, Madfish Diva.
Oh, Madfish. Thank you. I'll have to split that with Aqua. Appreciate that. And hello. And Fishy Biz, Griffin Fish Room, Sand Creek Aquatics. That badge looks good on you. Nathan, Anthony Fishy Friends. Welcome, everybody. So this series is something that I sort of dreamt up probably a few months ago, and it sort of got to a bit of a slow start, and it was fun. I got to speak to some different Aussie, not just fish tubers. So there were some people that have online stores the first guest we had was Sam Parker, and he's the one that organized the Underwater Pet Expo, which is the first ever fish expo down under, and it was awesome fun and a good success. So got really lucky off the bat to chat with him, and also then, you know, we got to be a little bit of a part of that. But the whole idea is sort of, I want to like find out where people have come from and why fish and why YouTube. But when did you get your first fish, and what was it, and how did it all come about?
All right, so here's the difficult part, because my life growing up has been really transit. You know what I mean? I bounced around a lot. You know.
Okay.
For a bunch of different reasons that, you know, I'd have to pay somebody and sit on their couch to talk about. But anyway, I distinctly remember when I was really young, my sister, I have two sisters, their father, he was basically like my stepfather, had a 55, and I remember he had a lot of mollies. Never paid. I was too young to pay, you know, to really pay it. I couldn't do nothing with him. I could just look at him. As a teenager, my stepfather had a 55. Is a different stepfather. Had a 55, and I remember distinctly a weather loach. He had a weather loach in there, and it would let me pick it up. You know, one of them long ones with the whiskers and stuff.
I think I know what you mean, but yeah,
it looks like a big pink or brown coolie loach.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, it would let me pick it up. But that didn't last long, because he was, you know, it was one of the, this is too much work. He got rid of it. I actually, you want to know the truth of the matter is, that's when I first had aquariums in my home, but I didn't pay attention to them. The truth of the matter is, when I was younger, I was really into reptiles, because I have a thing about rodents. Can't stand them. I cannot stand them. So I was into snakes and monitors, and after I got out the Army, I got a second job at a pet store, handling their reptiles. And as you know, I don't know if over there, but over here, the reptile department is always right next to the fish department. So I had to do both. And so that's how I learned about fish, is working in the fish department in 2000. I mean, that's the first time I really paid attention. I knew about fish, but that's when I really started to pay attention. And I didn't have an aquarium, but people came in, and from taking care of the saltwater fish and having everybody say how hard, my actual first aquarium was a saltwater tank.
I think I remember you said that before. Yes.
Yeah, because people said it was so hard and it bothered me. I'm like, no, it's not. I could do it. I took it as a personal challenge. So, yeah.
I'm the opposite. Like, I've never kept them because I'm worried. I'm like, all right, I'm doing all right with freshwater, but what are you adding? Why are we adding in another dimension to this? So I've been too afraid to, but I think I'll bite the bullet probably this year, I reckon.
Well, I still want to do a clown and an anemone tank, but the truth is there's no difference. There's just salt. All the fundamentals are exactly the same, you know. But for me, freshwater, they're more interactive. Saltwater, I haven't seen a fish yet, except for the big groupers. Now, if I did saltwater again, like I would get me triggers and groupers and all kinds of predatory fish, but you need a big tank for that. But for the most part, they don't care about you. They don't care. You know, they just do their own thing, and they care less about you. So that's why I like freshwater. Yeah,
I just did it. I mean, I got fish like when I was 8 years old, and I just had a small white cloud tank. And I don't know, I've never really been attracted to the saltwater idea until recently. And I think it's not so much because it's saltwater or anything. It's a bit of a diversity. And I keep lots of smaller tanks. So if I had, you know, let's say a 20-gallon, just clownfish with some anemone, it's a whole other. I think that I could now do it, and it'll be something different. And it's I'm very conscious of doing the same thing in multiple tanks. So that's the only reason I've sort of started really thinking about it and looking into it. And now it's starting to inspire me. Pusa Studios, hello. I've been to your streams. I don't think you've ever been to mine. So welcome, and thank you for all the help that you've given me over the journey as well. Now, so you working there, and then so what was your first fish tank that you actually went, I'm going to do this? After the saltwater, when did you start getting MTS?
Honestly, I didn't really. I mean, I had aquariums, but when I really hit heavy was okay. So check this out. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. I had aquariums here, there. You know, it wasn't until let me see, probably 2016, 2017 that I really started getting big with the angels. Because while I was working at the pet store, I always loved looking at the angels. But what happened was there was always some other fish that caught my attention, whether it be an Oscar or a Jack Dempsey, and I could never have my angel only tank. So I got into after in 2008, I went to I started becoming a Harley Davidson mechanic. I'm also a certified Harley Davidson mechanic, and
Okay.
I was always had greasy hands. So I never had an aquarium because of that. And when I in 2000, like I said, 16, 17 is when I was like, you know what? I don't have greasy hands. I'm gonna get me my angel tank, and I got a 29-gallon angel tank, and it just so happens that the way I take care of fish is so you know, it's so how you say, it equals out the way angelfish like to be taken care of. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to do work for angels. I just naturally take care of them. I take care of all fish the same way. It's just angelfish seem to benefit the most out of it. So I just went with it, and then it was well, you see what happened.
And here we are.
Yeah.
I love that because like lots of people will be saying, all right, you know, I thought about fish, but yeah, where am I going to put it? Don't have the money, don't have the time. But Funk just had greasy hands, so he didn't have it.
Yeah, I just didn't have. I was like, man, I'm gonna kill these dang on fish. I remember we had a me and my old lady, our first house together, our first place we lived at together. It was a little cheesy, but I had it was a what was it? It was like a 90-gallon Oscar tank, and I had aluminum foil on the back of the tank, and I had put pictures on the back of the tank. So when you looked at the tank, you saw photos with a silver background. She loved it. Now that I think back on it, I was like, that was ugly.
I was just, I'm trying to picture it, and
yeah, no, it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all.
So why angelfish?
You know what? You want to know the truth? I like. It's for the same reason I told you I like cribenzas. I like fish with unique shapes where if you took a silhouette, you'd be like, that's an angelfish, that's a discus, that's a crebenza, that's an Oscar. That's one of the reasons why I've never kept peacocks.
Yep.
Other than the color, they have the same shape. So
tetras would fall into that category too, then, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they do, but I was
different colors.
I was talking to somebody. I know I've mentioned to a couple people. The biggest problem I have and I don't have a problem against tetras. To me, tetras are great fish as a dither fish. I don't use them as a main display fish like some people do. Is the whole personality thing. You know, they don't really, you know, come to the tank like angels do, or even crebenza. You know, they don't react to you. They don't react. So that's the only thing against small fish I have, guppies or those type of things.
Yes, I know what you mean. My favorite fish would be rummy nose tetras, and there's something about them because they do react, and then when you have a big school of them, they all of a sudden the whole tank it's like the whole tank changes shape and the shimmer comes off, and bang, all of a sudden these red bullets are just shooting across. And I wouldn't recommend it. It just happened on by accident. But I have a laser measure for work, so I measure like.
Yeah, I do it too.
And I put it near the tank, and the rummy nose just all of a sudden, this school of rummy nose turned and just went for the light, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool."
Yeah, I do it too. I got one here too. I do it all the time. Like I even did a video on it way back in the day when I first started. When me flashing the light, the fish going crazy. But no, I see the rummy nose. When I'm talking about when I'm talking about interact, like they come to you, they know you. You know, they see your face and they want your attention. Now, angels are greedy pigs, and really that's the only reason why they want your attention. But still, to me, I'm like, oh, they're my buddies. No, they just want to bed. But you know what I'm saying, you know?
You watched that the video did where we went down to Blake's Aquatics, and he had
and y'all was taking pictures of each other.
Filming each other. Yeah. It's like you were really there. There was a tank full of angel fry, and he just put his hand above it, and all of a sudden these maybe 60 angels just went all up together, and I was like, that was really cool.
Yeah, they swarm.
I tried them with discus a couple of years ago, and I lost my last one maybe a couple of weeks ago. But I had two that grew really quick, really big. They were beautiful, but I don't know what killed them. But my discus dropped off, and then my angels dropped off. So I don't know. My theory is that apparently angels can have certain worms or bugs that they can sort of tolerate, and when you put them with discus can't tolerate it. So the discus will be the first ones to be affected. And I'm not sure if that's what happened. But have you ever tried to keep discus, or have you tried to keep angels with discus?
Actually, I've never done the discus, and I'm gonna tell you why. Is because for the price of a discus, I get 3 angels. So I'm very that's how everything happens. Like in my old age, I've gotten really cheap. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know how y'all guys do it, but like when in the States, when you get older, there's something about the price that makes people put on a face like they smell something nasty. $25, and they just and they always compare it. They always compare it to something else. I could get like 3 angels for that much, and that's why I've always been cheap that way. But this tank back here, I've never actually told anybody. So this tank right here is going to get a lot of changes. Where this is going to be an angel, discus, and ram tank.
Nice. I love that combo too. I love rams with discus.
Yeah.
God, that'd be cool. So how big is that tank anyway? It's
56 gallons, so I can't put many in there. A lot of these fish are gonna have to leave. But I want to put some a bunch of plants in there. The problem is you know, with multiple angels, you have a lot of problems. So I'm really only thinking it might have just 1 angel in there. Just because of the size of the tank, and I don't know. Discus to me, I've had them at the pet store. I've taken care of them at the pet store for years. You know, the first 3 months you never see them, and you know it's just kind of that's another thing that has kind of I shied away from discus is that the time it takes for them to get comfortable. You know, so whereas angels, it was kind of like automatic. They were out and about. So.
See, I've got most of my setup is in the garage, and I've got this tank over here. I can ask you in a second as well. I've got goldfish in there, but I'm probably going to change it around. It's a 55 gallon. I would love to just try and put some discus in there, but in a garage, low traffic area, I reckon that they'd never start coming out because it's so infrequent. You've got a garage door going up once or twice a day and never any foot traffic. That they would hide every time you come in.
Well, I think maybe it would be opposite because if you had them in a place where there was no traffic at all, that one time a day that you showed up would be a big deal. They probably wouldn't be used to it and always hide. Whereas if you put them in a place where there was a lot of traffic, they eventually get used to it and be cool with it. Are you subscribed to Jack Watley's Discus?
I think I am, but I don't frequent there.
It's a really cool story. It's a really cool story. You mind if I tell you his story? I mean, he's got a video on it. I just think the story is so cool. So Jack Watley was an older guy. He's passed away, right? And he was raising discus. He was really good at it. Doing his own bloodlines and his own strains. And he had sold some discus to this Puerto Rican dude. Yeah, Jack Watley's discus. Yeah, he had sold a discus strain to this Puerto Rican dude in New Jersey called Gabe Posada, right? Gabriel Posada. Well, something had happened to Jack Watley's strain where he completely wiped it out. It was all gone. And he really wanted this strain, so he went through his records and found that he had sold years prior discus to this guy in New Jersey, this Puerto Rican dude in New Jersey called Gabe, and called him up and said, "Hey, this is Jack Watley. You bought some discus from me a couple years ago. I found you in my records. You wouldn't happen to still have them, would you?" Yes, he had them. And he was breeding them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was breeding them. So he sent them back to Jack Watley. Well, what happened when they became very close? Gabe became Jack Watley's, Padawan and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jack Watley kind of took Gabriel under his wing. Gabriel moved down to Fort Lauderdale or somewhere down by Miami somewhere, and brought him in and showed him the words and hired him. And anyway, when he passed away, he left everything to Gabe Posada.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's just this dude in New Jersey, all the way in New Jersey, just happened to want some discus, fell in love with him, and now he's running Jack Watley's discus. Why I told that story is because he just did a video on a particular type of medication that is supposed to be really good for deworming discus and angels and anything. So,
cool. I think that is one thing I would definitely probably invest in before I would get discus again. And it's exactly the same here. Discus are not cheap. They start at $45, $50 for a little guy. And what I think is those fish aren't the best quality. And I think is maybe doomed before, long before you even get them home and put them in your tank, that your chances aren't necessarily always that high. That I've seen so many poor quality discus out there that it sort of scares me away to then say, I would only really want to buy from a breeder, or the ones that look any good in shops are $200-$300. And it's a big investment when you're a bit worried about, have I got everything for these guys? So I completely agree with you on that. Fish Whisperer Miles, Teresa Cookie, Dan Slee, Blake's Aquatics, Shep's Aquatics, welcome.
Cookie, how you doing?
Yeah, Teresa, I think you asked where Papa was. Oh, Melvin, hello. And Derek. Do you mean my old man? I don't know. Maybe he's asleep, sleeping in. He's out partying too much with all this coronavirus stuff going on, living it up. Redfish, Bluefish, welcome as well. All right, so in saying that, earlier we were sort of getting to the point where you said some of your first videos, your earlier videos, you were working on with the laser pointer, I think it was. Is that right?
Yeah.
I've gone for a second. Yeah. What I started thinking then, I'm like, all right, I'm going to ask you, and then we went into the Jack Watley thing. When did you start YouTube, and why did you start YouTube?
All right, so here it is. I love this story too because I get to say the names of the two guys who got me inspired to do a YouTube channel. One of them was called Majestic Cichlids. I don't remember his name because he never really said his name.
Okay.
And I could tell he was a Latin dude from New York because like when I lived in New York, the lighting, the apartment, I could tell, I'd never even seen his face. He was always like this, and he was doing angels. And there was another dude, and he was a white dude, and his name was Mike Dean. Not the older guy, Mike Dean from Aquarium Co-op. It was a different Mike Dean. Mike Dean's Fish Room is what his thing was. And I used to watch these guys religiously, and this is the reason why. I could relate to them. Yep. Mike Dean was like all over the place. His theme song was tonight something. I'm not gonna do anything. Something like that. Like he's not gonna. Anyway, he was wild. He was kind of like he talked like me. He was from a place, wherever he grew up. It was kind of a little street hoodish type deal, right? And then the Puerto Rican guy, hey, he could be my cousin. So I used to watch them because I believe a lot of YouTube is about relativity. Does this guy, do I relate to this guy? I'm never going to be in that position. The fish he keeps and the way they keep them, I don't see myself ever doing that. So I don't watch that too much. I watch things that are in my realm. These guys were in my realm, and for some reason they both just stopped like that. Just stopped, fell off the face of the earth. And I remember going, man, now what about people like me who feel, like they have a connection with their channel? There's nobody out there anymore. So I was like, I'm gonna do it so that people like me can hopefully learn from me. Because like I said, I used to watch other people's channel and they'd be like, yeah, I got this 800-gallon tank and this is what I'm doing. And I could be like, yeah, that doesn't help me because I don't have an 800. I'm not gonna have an 800-gallon tank. So, you're just making me feel bad about myself. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me find the guy with the 29-gallon tank. Let me talk to that dude,
No, I like that. It's exactly right. And that's one of the reasons that I like to stick with what I do is the nano side. Again, largest tanks of 55. Because I think that too, like when you sort of think, what do you bring to YouTube? What are you offering that makes people go, hey, actually, I do like that channel and I will subscribe because he gave me an idea. And I can do that idea. Whereas like King of DIY, I've been watching for years, but I don't know. I can't fit one of those tanks anywhere near my house. I can only maybe just fit one of his standard tanks. And you go, it's really cool to watch him do that and sort of like live vicariously through him. But to take some of that on, you can't really do it all the time.
Yeah, see, I've always been the type of person where, okay, what am I doing? Am I torturing myself by watching this? Like I'm never gonna have that. So why am I just, like, damn. But I can have a 55-gallon, and I want to know what I can do, all the different things I could do with it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So a lot of the stuff on my channel is all geared to 55s and below.
I get jealous as well. A lot of the Americans, a lot of the fish fam, all the videos that we watch, do a lot of summer tubbing. Do you do any summer tubbing?
I do year-round tubbing.
Yeah, but that's what Florida. If we have any fish outside now, if it's not a goldfish or a white cloud or it gets bloody cold. And our summer, I mean, I know Blake's Aquatics had a few out last year and you had some success with breeding, but I just feel like you've only got like a 3-month window to even attempt that. Whereas, you guys seem to do it a lot more and a lot more effectively.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I often wonder about Australia because, like ever since, I think Thirsty Rabbit was the first Australian that I watched. Then you, then Black. I know GRB's down there. I know I've spoken with, Cookie on different, but she don't really put out any, but I often wonder, I'm like, because all the pictures, according to us, like in the States, you guys live in a desert. Like a hot, blazing hot desert. But you're telling me that's not the case. You know what I mean? I would imagine that, with the temperatures you could do that, but I guess no, huh?
No, I'll send you a link to a video I did a couple months ago, and it's not a popular video, but a few people did say, "Is that really Australia? Is that what it looks like down there?" So I'll send you something because it only goes for a couple of minutes, but it'll change your mind.
See. And I seen a video where Heath was running around outside, of his front house. I think he was playing something with his kids or something.
Cricket.
And I was like, that's the suburbs, man. Y'all got suburbs in Australia?
How many people live in Miami? You're near Miami, aren't you? You moved.
No, I'm in Tampa.
Ah. Why do I always think you're in Florida?
I am in Florida. Tampa is in Florida.
This is my geography is horrible with America. But how many people live in Tampa?
I don't know. This is a lot. It's a pretty big city.
because apparently Melbourne has the same population as LA. That's where I live. So,
Oh yeah, no, it's not as big as LA.
oh, you might have a few. You've got at least 2 more people moving there, though. As in Tom Brady and Gronkowski.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I just moved here. I stopped watching. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to football, I actually stopped watching football because I'm really old school when it comes to football. And when people, like, you watch American football?
Yep.
Oh, San Francisco, yeah. So I forgot what game I was watching. I forgot how old I was, but they went to go. The offense went to go kick the extra points, right? And the dude ran around the side, jumped in midair, put his hands out, right? The defender jumped he's in midair. He puts his hands out, blocks the punt. The punter continued his kick and touched his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Flat. What was the guy supposed to do in midair? The punter kicked his hand. How is that? Like, come on, man. And I was like, man, there's too many rules, man. Like, yo, I want to see people just bleeding and hobbling off the field.
It's so funny because I watch a lot of AFL, so this is my Aussie rules football team. And that we call that a smother, and that happens 4 or 5 times every quarter, so up to 20 times a game. So, and that it's called kicking in danger. So if you can see someone with full intent trying to do it, and their hands are on it, you can get a free kick for it. But most of the time, they just let it go, and the player gets out, it's like grabbing his hand, and the ball just keeps going.
Yeah, it's just roughing the quarterback. Listen to me, man. If the quarterback throws an interception, look, here's my thing. If the quarterback throws an interception, right, and the defender starts running to this goal, the quarterback could tackle the hell out of that guy, right? So why I can't tackle the quarterback as hard as I want to? He can tackle me. Why I can't tackle him? Roughing the kicker. He got pads on, right? Put on a real face mask. Take that little bar off your face. Put on a real face mask.
We've opened something.
I get hyped up when I see all these little penalties because people don't want to get hurt. You getting paid, man. You getting paid. Play. I'll take your paycheck, and I'll be the hurtest dude for one season.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
I'll leave it all out in the field. I'll be a crippled, just all broke up for 1 year, just at the bank.
I've been watching some of the draft yesterday, and I think it's starting again very shortly, or it might be on now. But watching that and The Last Dance, the Chicago Bulls doco on Netflix, that started last week. 2 episodes every week. We've watched those this week, last couple of days, and I'm like, oh, this is my sporting fix. Like, I miss sport a lot right now, and I don't know, the last couple of days it felt like a bit of normality, but I don't know who all the players are that are getting drafted, but still, it's something to watch, something to invest in and see what happens next year and the next 10 years. Just quickly before I forget, you said the first Aussie fish tuber you spoke to was Thirsty Rabbit.
I know. I talked to Dub Ruxy. I watched.
Yes.
I've watched.
Yeah,
I've watched, but I believe the first one that I got close to was Thirsty Rabbit. Thanks to you.
That was good. Fun fact for everybody: Aqua Funk introduced me to Thirsty Rabbit.
What?
Yeah,
really?
You were on a stream, Rob93, Matthew Moore, Sicklers, and me and E Money, and anyway, you just started asking me all these questions, and I had no. Like, I had a couple videos. I had no idea about the fish fam. And all of a sudden, that was the first time I went, oh, there's like a whole community out there. And you're like, oh, dude, do you know Thirsty Rabbit? And I'm like, nah. And you're like, oh, he's crazy, dude. He's like so much fun. He's got so much energy. And he's gone back boxing and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know if I want to know this guy. And then I looked him up. I'm like, he's awesome. And all these tanks and everything. I've been speaking to him, done videos with him, talked to him a lot. So it's pretty awesome.
I love that guy. He's such a positive dude. I love that guy. And I do remember the first video I saw of yours, because I remember it distinctly. And I'm going to tell you, it was a video that you did with Discus, right? And you were showing off your tanks. And I remember distinctly going like, this dude got a really, really white house. Like, it's all white. Like, he just don't have no color at all. But I mean, I could tell you did it on purpose. But I was like, he's got a white. And there was a word after the white. This dude got a white blank house. It's really, really white as blank. That's pretty much how it was.
Yes, it is pretty white. I do remember a few people like, oh, it's the dude with the white house. I'm like, what? But it's because I had the camera and I'm just facing up the whole time. And yes, our walls are light grey. Sand Creek Aquatics, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate it. I'm about to have a bit of noise come in the background here.
Yes. So, open the garage door. Glock, 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 glock. Is that? Yeah.
Did you do that?
Huh?
Just one sec. Oh, no. No. I think they've gone through the front of the house. Sorry. They're all going for a walk. So what's happening with the channel now these days? And what are you having fun working on?
Is that a dog?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's something wrong with your motor, bro. You really need to check that motor on that garage door.
A little bit rusty.
But, yeah. Actually, you want to know the truth of the matter is I've been doing a lot of studying on, I don't know if you've noticed, but my channel structure, the way I do my videos has been changing. I've been buckling down a lot more on keeping people's attention, giving them the stuff that they're asking for instead of, me just winging it, and which did well for me at first.
Yeah.
I'm not, and but trying to find that balance of what the viewer wants and what I feel comfortable as myself putting out, because I can't do everything that, they say, oh, you should be like this and you should be like this. I was like, well, that's not me at all. So I've been trying to find a nice balance, and I could tell my view time has gone up, which everybody out there who's been watching my videos just a little bit longer, I appreciate you for it. And I hope that I can do more like that in the future. I got some plans coming up. I've been going back and forth with the whole membership thing.
Tell me about that.
Really?
Yep. Tell me about it, because I just got members, and I got some heat straight away. But then I got some more members than I anticipated straight away. So I was like, all right, is this a positive or is this a negative?
Well, here's the thing. The last 20 or 15 minutes of I didn't go on Sunday. It was just a bad time for me to go on my live. So I've had this membership for a while now, right? And when it first came out, I was thinking to myself, okay, so I give you money out my bank account without me even, I don't even do that for my rent. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I was like, so what's the payback on it? You know what I mean? And I've talked to different people. I did a live stream on it and it went terribly wrong. Horribly wrong, actually.
This is a little while ago.
A couple months ago. Maybe right around 6 months ago. And it went so left. It was so what I didn't intend. At any rate, my whole thing is, as far as membership goes, is what's the payback? Okay? Because for me, and this is for me, for me to give somebody $5 out my account every month, where's the payback? Some channels, and this is not all channels. This is what my video, that live stream was about, was like, who is worth it in your opinion? For you guys that are doing it, let's give congratulations with Corey, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. So some people were actually giving back. You got discount on this, you got, sneak peek on this, you got this, that, and the other. And I was like, okay, I get it. Cool. But then there was other channels that were like, hey, be a member or you can't say nothing in my chat. And I'm like,
yeah, no, that's
I was like, what? And I was like, wow, that's, I could have said, I was able to talk in your chat before, but now because I don't give you money, I can't. And I was like, I don't know about that, but to each his own. You can do whatever you want with your money. I was just saying, for me to do it, I would have to give back more. I would have to give more.
And
that's the only way I would feel like I wouldn't be taking someone's money.
That's exactly what I did when I was looking through it. I was like, try and make this nice and cheap and affordable. But what am I giving people? Why are they doing it? Sometimes it's support. And they're like, hey, Josh, like what you do. I watch lots of stuff. I'm going to give you a little bit of money because you give me content and entertain me for the month, even though I don't have to. But at the same time, I do want to be able to, get everyone's details, make sure I can send them stickers and a thank you. And then I've thought I'm going to have a tank that I never film anyway. I'm going to change it and I'm going to let the members tell me what they want to do with it. And it can be like they own a part of the fish room. And I'm not going to ignore everyone that comes by. I think a couple of people thought the way that I put it out there was that I was cutting ties with the community feel unless you paid, which is not the case at all. It's just it's me saying thank you to people that want to support it because, this to me is it's a big part of my life and I've spent a lot of time doing it and my family either involved in it or sometimes they have to sacrifice. Like right now they're going for a walk without me. So they got to sort of see why I'm doing it and also not breaking the bank account every time I want to set up a new tank or whatever as well.
Yeah. And just real fast, I just want to add something. There was a Queen Ciclet, Liz's sister, right? Queen Liz, King Queen.
Yeah.
Her name is Deborah. Because I was watching. I didn't watch Scott's live stream because I don't normally watch live streams after they pass. I just feel like a voyeur. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm peeking through your window, like, ooh, and so and so said that, and so and so said that. I feel creepy, so I don't do it. But I did it for his, and towards the last 15 minutes or so, Deborah, and I forget her last name, it's Liz's sister. She says some really inspiring things about like, hey, you put in a lot of time and work and effort and money and sacrifice into doing what you're doing. Don't feel bad if people want to give back monetarily. You're just giving them the option. They don't have to do it. So, and I thought to myself, I was like, yeah, I do get a lot of nasty looks from my old lady. A lot. I mean, she might be cool and all that when she's on film, but sometimes it is not cool.
I love that you did that intro and she's laughing in the background.
So I got like a 4-month plan on when I think I'm gonna start it.
Yep.
But I need to get things put together so that when I do, I don't feel like I'm taking your money when I've been doing this for 2.5, 3 years for free. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I got some things lined up and I'm lining some stuff up so that when I do get it off and running, I can give back. I can give back. Yep.
I know it's a weird, awkward, interesting one. My dream is one day to be able to do something with this channel, not necessarily just the channel, but with this brand and channel that's what I do. That's my job. That's what I would love to do. And maybe it's like a 10-year plan, but we've all got to have hopes and dreams and we've got to apply our passion somewhere. And sometimes for everybody, that's not necessarily the place that you work. a lot of people that would be the case. So if you can turn your love or passion or hobby into, you know, something that is self-sustainable, then I think why not ask the question? If you don't do it, and just keep going and sort of just wonder, you know, what you could have done or achieved, or who you could have helped or touched in different ways and helped personally. These people that reach out and you go, oh, I didn't realize this person was really tuned into what I'm doing, and now I can communicate with them and say, here, reach out, send me an email, send me a message or whatever. I think it's good. Like, it's a way to expand. So I'm excited about it. And it's also going to challenge me a little bit to go, all right, I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to spend a bit more time on this for these other things. And it might just be a message one week and then it's 2-minute video another week or something like that. But it's also, building those relationships as well.
Because that's another thing, right? You as a creator, you're putting more pressure on yourself.
That's, exactly.
By having that on, you know, so.
That's it. And that was one thing I keep thinking the last few days. And do you make videos for you or do you make them for everyone else?
At first, I made them for me. Then I decided, because here's the deal. All right, recently I started really being honest over one of my driving forces. One of my forces is to let minority, because here in the States, there's a kind of thing where minorities feel like fish keeping is a white thing. All right. None against nobody. It's just when we were growing up in the poor neighborhoods, we didn't have extra money for a fish tank. So it wasn't, you know, like I grew up in a project, Section 8, you know, government cheese, food stamps, welfare. So we didn't have money for a fish tank. So it wasn't really in our thing. I mean, my stepfather had one and we had money for that, but that's because my stepfather I told you back in the day, he had money. I'm not gonna talk about how he got his money. That's a whole different story. But but for the most part, it's, you know, minorities be like, oh, that's not for us. We'll stick to the pit bulls and, you know, and stuff like that. But I want to let minorities know that if you thought, ooh, that would be nice, I'm doing it, and you can do it. And back to my point of relativity with those other two chapters. So I've been making videos to basically reach as many people as possible in hopes that I get a couple of people who felt that it wasn't for them. Culturally.
No, that's good. It's something that I've never really thought about. I have not a lot of friends that keep fish. It is funny though, because a friend last week we had a few beers over Zoom because we're not allowed to hang out. It's good for us to catch up, good for mental health. And he's like, Josh, I want you to set me a fish tank up. And I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, what do you want to do? You want to like do an aquascape and we'll do this and this? And he's like, just a fish tank. Like, I just want a few fish. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then I had a neighbor the other day. He's like, oh, the fish tanks, it's like their own ecosystem, isn't it? And I'm like, that's exactly why I love it. It's like it's a little world in a glass box and they're relying on you, but you can use these tricks and stuff to make that ecosystem self-functioning, and that's the best feeling. You said before we started, you said something about the cribs, and I said I'll tell you a little something about the cribs.
Yeah. Tell me a little something about cribs.
So short story. No, well, the whole story. A lot of people that have a pair of cribs. Cribs are very easy to breed for those that don't know. You get a male and female, very easy to tell apart when they're fully grown. And just add water and you'll have babies eventually. Pretty much they like to have a little cave. They'll go in there. They're excellent parents usually. But usually one parent is the main parent and sometimes bosses the other one around. And in a lot of instances, that's the female. Not in my instance, it's the male, and the male has almost killed the female a couple times. They've had maybe 7 or 8 spawns. And And a couple of days ago, I found the female dead, half eaten. So the male has turned on the female to protect the babies and killed her. And he's only got two fry with him at the moment that he's constantly guarding. So I have a tank over here with beautiful crebensis that are maybe 8 or 9 months old that need to be rehomed because they can't stay in there. But it's weird. I know that if I grab 2 of them and put them in another tank, I'm going to have another 50 crebensis again. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with this guy, and I'm hoping that he'll settle down now that there's no female and won't be so aggressive. And I don't want to put him in a community tank, but I sort of don't have any options unless I have a single crib only tank.
I know I've had cribs with angels and they did pretty well. In a single crib, I didn't put multiple cribs. You want to know? I found that like when I bred my cribs, right? I didn't do it on purpose. I just thought they were cool looking. I had put rocks in the tank, and I had my tank long ways, right? Long ways, and I put rocks in the tank kind of sporadically. And one thing that the cribs, I used to say, is taking them for a walk, because I felt like the parents would act like there's 2 parents, right? And one would hover over the fry, the other one would like go, and they would stay at the bottom. They would stay at the bottom of the tank. They wouldn't rise up. They would stay at the bottom. And the other one would go like a couple inches ahead, then like kind of call the other one and they'd follow. But because I had these rocks positioned like they would, it looked like they was taking them on a trip through a maze. I used to just be in amazement and stare the whole time and watch one go ahead, make sure the coast is clear, then the other one go. And I was like, man, that's the coolest thing ever. I really like cribs. I really like cribs.
I love them too. All in tanks. I don't know. Were you talking about this screen or are you talking about that screen? Because they're both just playing sort of different demos. If I can help you out which one's which, I'll let you know. But they're just on a loop. That was the thing. I bought crebensis a long time ago. And put them in a community tank, and that's why I fell in love with them, because all of a sudden I had these guppies just doing their thing and these swordtails doing their thing and whatever, and all of a sudden they had these 2 fish who were like, I'm going to own this spot. And then they had babies and I didn't realize. All of a sudden they're walking. I remember one came out and just all these babies just flew out with it, and I was like, what's going on? And then that's it. They take them off so that they can graze and then bring them back.
And they're really good parents, like you said. I was looking into breeding some albinos, and it didn't work. I had male and female. I had a male and 2 female albinos. It didn't work, and I learned from someone who I was talking to. They was like, yeah, female albinos don't like male albinos.
So
for the more times than not, the female albino will go with a normal albino, a normal crebenza, instead of with another albino. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't see very many of them. And it's a Star Wars game, if that's the one you're talking about. Monica, hello. In case I missed you, I thought I said hello, but now I'm like, did I? It's fun. It gets tricky. What do you do like when you end up with more angels? Do you go and buy another tank, or you sell them, or you?
I sell them. When I was in New Jersey, and those of you, if you're, breeding angels is a commitment. That's how come I don't do it now. I don't have the room to make that commitment. But when I was in New Jersey, I was making about $250 on the weekends, just going to different pet stores and selling fry to them.
Wow, they don't do it over here. They won't buy off you.
They won't buy off you? Why?
Just they don't. All the stores, they just seem to maybe give you store credit, or they just
okay. Yeah, that's because honestly, when I worked at pet stores, this was what happened when I worked, because I was manager at a pet store. The first time I met somebody who would come in and be like, "Hey, I'm a breeder, I got fry." The thing is I didn't know if it was an accident and they just calling themselves a breeder because it just happened one time. Yep. And I take that and I give them money for it. I never see them again. I would never see them again sometimes.
Yeah.
What I would do is I would give them store credit and let them know, hey, look, if this works out, maybe in the future we could do something. What I used to do, I used to take about 10 angelfish and give them to the pet store. Boom, here you go for free. Here's your free. Or maybe, I felt I had a whole lot and I'd be like, yo, let me fill up your tank. Because local pet stores hate having empty tanks. Hate it. So I was like, boom, here goes 25 angelfish. Here's my number. I'll come back next week anyway and see how they're doing. Come back, they're all gone. You know what I mean? They're all gone. Hey, it looks like it worked out. I do this on a regular basis. This is my fish room right here. Look at, you see all the mess and all that? That's work going on. Look at these fried. So when they know you're serious, they're more inclined to give you cash.
Yep.
And then there's some talking points that you have to give to them. Be like, look, I deliver, so you don't have to pay for shipping. The water is local. If they die on you, right? Let's say I give you 20 angelfish and 3 of them die. I'll just make that up on the next shipment. You don't have to send. It's a pain in the butt as a store owner to try and get the money back for 3 angelfish. You just chuck it up as a loss. And on top of that, their profit margin is higher because you're probably selling it a little bit cheaper or a lot cheaper than what they're getting it for. So it's definitely a dance you have to play, but it can be done.
Yep.
I equate it to selling drugs. You give them a sample for free. It's the truth. You give them a sample for free and be like, you like that? I'm the guy to talk to.
Yeah, but
it's the truth.
At least with that side of drugs, you don't get high on your own supply, but you got plenty of angelfish.
Yeah, but no, it's definitely a dance you have to play to get. You have to talk to them. You can't talk to these people, the local fish stores. You can't talk to them like fish keepers or hobbyists. You have to talk to them like business people.
Can you do your next live stream as fish stealing? Is it the same as drug dealing? Just watch it explode. It'll be awesome. I love it. So what's your favorite tank now? I know you've recently moved and stuff, so you've settled in now.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. My favorite tank now, they're all equal right now. Every one of them are equal because I don't have a lot of room, so I don't have a lot of projects.
Yeah.
So they're kind of. I mean, I still got stuff to do on this one, but with the epidemic, I can't do nothing about it. I'm real happy with okay. So this tank right here, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not all that happy with Escape. I wanted plants in there, along the sides right here, which I'm still gonna do, but right now is not the time to do it. But I gotta tell you, they've deteriorated a lot in there, but I've put in plant debris, plant litter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's the reason, but these have been some of the healthiest fish I've had in a long time.
Yep. See, I've actually, I know I haven't watched your video yet, the Blackwater video. That's what I saw the trailer that you put on Instagram. I found it hilarious.
That one. That one is the 3 different types of cloudy water.
Okay. Well, I definitely would get a lot out of it. I set up a tank over here that I'm hoping to do a video next couple of days. But what was really interesting, I had a whole bunch of endlers in there. And then, what are you laughing at?
Yeah, I was just thinking, so I see Teresa and Tiffany Rose talking.
But what I did, I had a whole bunch of endlers in there, and then I went, I'm changing this whole tank up. I've got this idea. So I got the endlers out, and then as I'm going, there's just more fry at the bottom, and I spent 3 hours just trying to net fry because I didn't want anyone to die. And I hit a point where I actually put them in a few different tanks. So there's some in a cold water tank over here. There's some in with the goldfish over here, which has a heater. There's some over there and some over there. Anyway, there was about 6 or 7 right near the end, and I just went, stuff it. You guys can stay in there. So I reset up the tank, and I put in this big bit of driftwood, and the tannins on it, it's beautiful. The tank looks incredible But what's really interesting is probably by chance, because someone's told me in the past it depends on the pH level of your tank whether you're going to have more males or more females in a spawn as well. But all of a sudden, I've got 6 males and 1 female, and they are all triple the size of the other fry in all the other tanks, and they're all colorful, not just a couple of the dominant males. And I'm like, wow, that's made such a difference, and I can only attribute it to the tannins.
Tannins?
It's the only difference
honestly,
to the tank before.
I'm real happy with it.
Sorry?
I wouldn't want all my tanks to be tannins, but
No, not all. No.
What I think is cool about this tank is even before I put that wood in there and the leaf litter, the back was painted brown. I got this tank for free off somebody who had a bearded dragon. And I was like, they asked me if I wanted it. I was like, nah, because you had a heat lamp. He's like, heat lamp for what? I'm like, you didn't have a heat lamp on the bearded dragon? I was like, no. Did you have a heating pad underneath? No. Did you have a heat rock? No. What happened to the heat? What happened to the dragon? It died.
Oh, no.
I said, okay. But they painted it brown like that. And yep. I remember thinking to myself, that's the ugliest color for a fish tank. But what happened was when I took it home and put water in it and tested it and saw the light shimmer on the brown, I was like, that looks like a dark water tank.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm keeping it because I didn't intend on putting tannins in there. But I was like, it looks just like a dark water tank without all the messy tannins, you know? So,
yeah, it's funny. I don't know. I've got this set up in front of me that it's a black water tank, and then this is looks like a riverscape. This looks like a tropical tank. This looks like something else. Every tank has its own personality and point of difference. So I think that's why I like it. But if I had just one fish tank sitting in my living room, I'd probably shy away from the Blackwater. Bendigo Balaclava finally made it. Hello. Wait. Good morning. Waking up. If anyone in here has not got Sand Creek Aquatics, Nathan is only 2 away from 250. That would be an awesome thing for him to celebrate today and us to be a part of. So jump up, click on his name, make sure you're subscribed. If you're not, we only need 2 of you to do it to get to the 250. All right, well, is there anything you would like to touch on or go over or anything while we're still here? We've just hit the hour mark. We usually go just a little bit over.
One more person for Sand Creek Aquatics.
One more
person. Come on.
Hey, that's one thing I've always appreciated. You and Rob 93. I know in lots of streams you're scouring, going, oh, this dude's not far away, and then you send a message off to each other and say, get him up there. And I love how you do that. I remember early days, I'm like, I'm close, notice me. And then there'll be someone else. I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's awesome to see someone achieve their goals.
That's actually quite difficult. Me and Rob haven't done it in a while on his channel because I've been on. I gotta start, at any rate, here's the thing with that. Rob's been doing that. No, Rob was a huge cheerleader for that, because when me and Rob and another dude, but when we was coming up together, because we pretty much started at the same time, we got no help from no one, no one.
Yeah.
And I remember distinctly people kind of shying away from us. In fact, people didn't know what to think about us. I remember people going like, I remember we would go on, it was me, Rob, and another guy, and we started Sunday Shenanigans. And apparently nobody in the fish tubing community had seen 3 young guys just only talking about fish probably about a quarter of the time. The rest of the time, we was hanging out with the individuals.
Yeah.
And if a fish question came up, then of course we took that. But people just had fun, and nobody really seen that before. And Rob was like, nobody. He started, looking at people, and he would get excited. Rob gets really, oh, he gets all excited and stuff. And he said, you know, so so what happened is I'll look down the line and I'll look at people, right? And if I see somebody is new, the reason why if I didn't call your name, um, Aquamate, is because if I was like, okay, this guy needs 15 to get to his goal, but I know everyone here is already subscribed to him.
Yes,
So it
yeah,
would be a waste. You know what I mean? It would be a waste. So I can go with this guy who, I know nobody really knows too much, and at least we can get a goal. But my thing with that is I don't say, oh, you must sub to this guy. I really think you should check them out first.
yeah,
Don't automatically sub to them because I said so. Check them out. Um, See what they're all about, and if they get the goal on the channel, then great. Um, but it's up to the person who's receiving those subs, that little bump, to up their game. Okay, I
yeah.
can't, me and Rob can't walk you through every sub. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to, and I think that's
Well, that's the
some
whole
people
thing
have just
about
relied on it.
subscribers. Is
Huh?
that's the whole thing about subscribers is at the start you're making videos, you want an audience. So that's now your audience. If they hang around, awesome. Like that's really encouraging, and it inspires you to keep trying and keep doing it and keep trying new things and learning from everything. If they don't hang around, like no one has to hang around. So it's sort of like you ask for an audience, not everyone's going to like it. It's always no one's perfect. Even the biggest fish tuber he sort of can create some of the most controversy. So it's interesting.
He's talking to me from under the. Is he like, Dad? Dad? Is that what he's doing?
Doing some Indiana Jones. God.
Speaking of people starting out, I've been working with All In Tanks. You see them here in the chat.
Yep.
They're great. They're a great couple, and I've been working with them, and
were they on with you and Rob?
Were
they on with you and Rob on a stream?
Yeah, they was. Yes, they was.
Because I jumped in that one halfway through or something, and I was like, "Hey, everyone!" I didn't know, so I was new to All In Tanks.
It's a husband and wife team, Ozzy and Tiffany Rose, Ozzy Octane. Have you heard the rap song at the end of Scott's videos sometimes?
The rap song. Oh,
there's a rap song on some of his videos that was Ozzy Octane after and this is some of these stories that I hear is like, man, the world isn't totally doomed. You know what I mean? I hear these stories like the Jack Watley story. Anyway, when Scott over there, had people attacking him, on videos, Ozzy Octane, he wasn't really, he's not a fish tuber per se, at least at the time he wasn't. He's a rapper. He's a rapper.
Yeah.
He felt inspired to do something nice for Scott and wrote him a song, a rap song. And I thought that was the coolest thing. So I kind of paid a little bit more attention to him. Didn't really, at this point, I'm just kind of watching to see. And he continued to come to the chats. He continued to come to chats. I saw him. He kept showing up. Never asked for anything. He just, hey guys, I'm here. And then he made a comment that he was going to, him and, they was going to start a channel. And I was like, well, I need to help them out because they helped somebody, and I got to know them. Great couple, great ideas, great stories. And they started a channel, and I'm happy to help them on it. They're doing it. At this point, they're asking me, questions, but in my head, I'm like, y'all got this. You know what I'm saying? So y'all check them out, man, and give them some encouragement because they got this more than they know. I know right now they're probably saying all kinds of nice stuff about me, which they do too much personally, but it's selfishness. I'm doing it because it makes me feel good too, But Ozzy Octane, actually Tiffany Rose and Ozzy Octane, all in tanks, man. Go check them out.
I'm trying to click on it. What's going on with you?
It's hard. It's very difficult. For some reason, you cannot. Are you up there, Tiffany? Tiffany, get on. Tell Ozzy to say hello, because for some reason their channel name does not pop up.
I've just gone a little bit quiet because I was like, all right, Chewy's like, all right, it's Tiffany White's husband. I'm like, okay, but Tiffany Rose is in there. And I'm like, and now Tiffany's like, no, he's my husband.
Yeah. No, Tiffany White's in here?
Sorry? No.
Is Tiffany White in here?
No, that's why I was getting confused going, I don't think Tiffany White's in here. But Tiffany Rose is.
Yeah. Tiffany Rose is in there. Hey, Tiffany, tell Ozzy to somebody get on there. It's all in tanks. You see it right there at 9/11. Yeah. At any rate, no, it makes me feel good to watch them. You know, because I remember all the excitement that I was going through when I started my channel. The only thing is nobody. Ruben, what is up?
Hey, Ruben and Gina French, how are you? Thank you for your email. I'll reply very soon.
But
it's not letting me click on anything, so I've got to go over here and search for it.
Yeah, you have to go. If you go on my video description, you'll see it. I don't know why it is that their YouTube is doing that to them. We got to figure that out.
YouTube does some weird things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll find that. We sort of went off on another direction when I said, is there anything you wanted to share or go over before we wrap it up?
You know, the only thing I'd like to share is, as far as the the membership thing go, I
was going to go on a tangent about that tomorrow. I was going to go on a tangent about that tomorrow and discuss it with like Dr. Black.
Well, here's the thing, and I mean, I did that live stream a while back, and it wasn't intended to. It just went terribly wrong. But I was just asking who's in everybody's opinion, who's worth the money, But people come in halfway through the stream and they hear only a little bit, and it starts going all off. And my thing is, I understand, I get it, guys, I get it. It's your money to do it what you want, how you want, And I'm not downing anybody for it. In fact, like I said, that girl Deborah in Scott's stream kind of enlightened me to a couple of things with the words she was saying. But yeah, just like I said, I've said things in the past. I was just curious, and I wasn't being critical, more or less questioning, like what is the payoff?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Because I don't have a lot of money, and if I was a lesser willed person, I would be afraid, oh my God, Aquamate, is he gonna like me if I don't give him money? You know what I mean?
Nah,
I don't want nobody to feel that if I do this, I don't want you to feel that I'm gonna like you any less because you don't have the money for it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know.
No, absolutely. I think I agree with you but I haven't felt like that with any, because I'm members of channels. I haven't felt like that with any of them. But I'll be honest, I've been members of a couple channels and I've gone, all right, what's the value here? Am I actually getting anything out of it? Is it, how's it sort of being worked? So I think if that's one thing that we didn't really say is if you do it, you are obligated to sort of show what that's doing and how it's contributing and thank people all the time and all that sort of stuff and keep it fun and community spirited and everything still. But you kind of got to go, here, this is what I can do for you. It could even be something simple like, hey, it's enough for me to buy a couple of Aquamate shirts. In 2 months' time, I can go and buy 3 of them and then give them away. And at the same time, buy a new heater for this tank because it died or something like that,
Mm.
But I think if you're doing it and then you're not saying, what's happening,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
can't help but go, well, why am I doing that?
And see, I don't know if people are afraid to like this. Like, I know that there's some very kind-hearted people out there in fish tubing community, very, very giving and kind-hearted. So
Absolutely.
listen, guys, if you're a member of somebody's channel and they're not giving what they promise, take it back. Don't worry, you're not gonna have a little picture there. Take it back. I don't know, man. I know that there's some people out there that will be reluctant to take it back because they're just too nice. You know, I'll be
Yes.
the butthead. I'll be the you know what for you guys. Take it back. If they're not giving what they promised, take it back.
You just put me under pressure.
Huh?
You just put
Yeah,
me
hey,
under
everybody hold Uncle Bates' feet to the fire. No, but you're a good guy. I'm sure that you've given this a lot of thought, and I mean, obviously, you're already thinking about how you're gonna do this and all that. And I don't have a doubt in my mind that you're gonna produce. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like some people are putting on that thing, going, now pay me. And I know you got to give. You got to give back, bro. That's
it's
my
exactly
personal opinion.
I think that's it. And the way that you should approach it is it's almost like, all right, the game's just gone up a notch. So you're ready to play.
Yeah.
So and that's it. And that's one thing as well. If you have if a few people do sign up to it or something, might be easier to go, oh, I know what these guys are happy or they're not happy. But if it grows even bigger, you're probably going to not be able to please everyone again. And then that's going to be another thing. So it does open a box.
So the pressure's on you. The pressure's on you, Josh.
Blake's Aquatic sent me.
I'm sure you're gonna come through. I just curious what's gonna happen when everybody starts spending money again, because I know a lot of people are holding on to their pennies.
Yeah, well, it's interesting over here. I don't know if you want to talk about it at all. I'm really interested in how you're feeling over there with what's going on.
Oh, go ahead. Tell me. I'm good.
So are you working are you interrupting your day-to-day life in a big way or a smaller way?
Yeah, here's what's happening, okay? At least with me. So the whole unemployment issue is way backed up. All right. So people here who who need unemployment because of this whole epidemic is way backed up. So they're not really gonna get it. At least if they get it, they're not getting it anytime soon. Because there's so many of us that need it. I am still working, but the hours are cut way back. So, for instance, my paycheck that I just got today for last week was 25 hours. But because the company is still running, I'm not eligible for unemployment, which would be 40 hours. So it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, ooh, I have to work, but there ain't no work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now let's say my boss said, all right, you know what? I'm closing the business down. Y'all go ahead and collect unemployment. Well, now I'm still screwed because I may not see any unemployment money for months.
Yeah.
My apartment and my bills are still coming in.
It's like that's one thing that I've struggled with a little bit lately is they've cut a few things, but the demand has gone up on what you now are responsible for. For example, I'm still working. I'm having to use leave and continue to work anyway. And now we're homeschooling a 7-year-old who is at that perfect age where he's capable of doing something on a computer, but he can't open the next program and move on to the next task. So every half an hour, and they want us to do 6.5 hours of schooling a day. And every half hour it changes. So if I'm on the phone trying to work and they want me traveling into random people's houses at the moment for work, I'm like, am I going to get sick? Am I going to get anyone bring something back from someone? And is Harry now not getting any attention for schooling? What's going on? It's just crazy.
Now, what is it that you do for work?
Sell air conditioning. You install air conditioning, don't you?
I install it. So yeah, the same thing. Like I'm going now.
And so
Now,
Jeffy
thankfully,
does
I'm
too.
doing. Yeah, thankfully, I do commercial installs. So, there's not a lot of people on a construction site, but still, I get worried every time I come home too. I'm like, did I get infected?
Yeah.
Am I bringing this into the house today? So, and with homeschooling, my daughter's homeschooling now, and they just said, they're gonna head and they're gonna stop. They're just gonna cancel school for the rest of the year. Well, Florida
For the
is a
rest of the
little
year.
weird. There, huh?
For the rest of the year.
Yeah, for the rest of the school year.
Wow. Oh well, yeah. Sorry, your school years. You're coming towards
So
the end, aren't you?
yeah, so now Florida is kind of funny because half of Florida, it seems like they still think it's a hoax. The other half is like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? So there's a good chance that my old lady Maida will have to go back to work soon, which is great. But now we have a 1.5-year-old and a 7-year-old because my babysitter is not going to take my 1.5-year-old because she has kids of her own and she's not going to take in a kid right now or anytime soon. So now
Yep.
if Maida has to go back to work, now what are we going to do about our daughters? Because one of them is homeschooled now. There's no school for her, and I don't,
Yep.
so it's scary, bro. I feel like the social breakdown is more scarier than the actual disease sometimes. You know what I mean?
I think, yeah, I think you're definitely right. And we seem to be coming out of it a bit. I don't think it's the over, even if we do relax things a little. But I've just sort of been reminding myself everyone's probably feeling this in a different way, coping in a different way. Bottle-os are doing well, as in liquor shops. but just that everyone's going to have different challenges thrown at them. And yeah, just to be mindful of it, I suppose, and just exactly sort of stick together. I keep hearing lots of reports over there that, yeah, the people protesting in the streets in America saying, I just want to go back to work. This is not real. But the figures in America are clearly the worst in the world. And the president's saying, no, we've handled it well. I'm sitting back on, what's going on? We had 4 new cases in the country yesterday, and I think 12 or something. Sorry, 4 a couple of days ago and 12 yesterday.
In the country?
In the country. So
Are you
crazy?
Seriously?
We've only had in the last week or 10 days, the most we've had in a day is 50. And I think we've had 4 people die. So we've had 72 deaths in total. We've had 6,000 infections, 6,600. And of that, I think less than 2,000 are still actively sick at the moment. So we're hitting a point now where we're hoping that May 11 that they'll release the restrictions a little and let us do a little bit more and open a couple more businesses again. But yeah, it's like flatlining over here, but I don't think that will be the end of it because all you got to do is miss one person and relax things, and all of a sudden 10 people have got it again. So
shoot, Florida doubles every day, it seems like.
I watch yours because I love a lot of you guys over there. So I check Australia and then I check America, and I'm like, is America getting better? And they only got 20,000 new cases today. That's insane. It's scary.
Yeah.
And I just hope that they fix it and no one starts injecting disinfectant into themselves.
Chloroquine. Hey guys, look, man, I don't care who says what. Don't be sucking on no dang on aquarium medications. I don't care who says it. Don't go drinking your Melafix. Don't drink your Prime. Don't eat your fish food. It won't work.
Yeah. And Chris, you're right. The population density is, I don't know exactly compared, but you got to think Australia is a very similar size to America, but all the cities are around the side. No one's living in the middle. That area that Aqua Funk's thinking, I think of Australia and it's a desert. Not many people live in there. There's a lot of sheep and cattle live out there. But that's the thing. Where I am on the East Coast, it's where it's a big city, and Sydney's even bigger. I don't know. Brisbane's not quite as big as Melbourne, but
No,
there is some density still.
Yeah, but no. Whenever I see a picture of Australia, it's either the amphitheater thing you have
Yeah, the Sydney
in
Opera House.
In Melbourne, is it Sydney?
Yeah.
And that big rock.
Yeah, the Ayers Rock. Uluru.
Huh?
That's so true. Uluru or Ayers Rock.
That's the only pictures. Australia. It's a big rock or the amphitheater. I'm like, that's it?
Yeah, and then what animals live in Australia? And you're like, all the ones
just
that kill
kangaroos and wallabies and
the snakes and the spiders and the sharks and the jellyfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And octopuses that kill you. God. Yeah, it's fun. You should come visit sometime.
I would love to visit Australia. Like I said, I'm still a big reptile nerd at heart.
Yeah.
You know? I just want to say goanna in an actual presence of a goanna. You know what I mean? I don't want to just say it for no reason. That's ridiculous.
I think you're saying goanna, yeah?
Yeah, goanna. That's not how it's pronounced? Did I mispronounce it?
You're sounding more like marijuana. I would say goanna.
Goanna. Well, Puerto Ricans trying to sound Australian, kind of. Yeah, it gets a little muffled. It
gets mixed up a bit in there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you jumping on. It's been good. I know we've talked before in streams, but it has been a long time since we've been able to. You jumped on that 24-hour stream that we did, and just as I was like, I haven't spoken to Funk forever, but that's where I got my 2 hours sleep in.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Thanks everyone for joining us. If you haven't seen Aqua Funk's channel, check it out. Have you written anything in the chat? I'll write right at the start.
Way up at the top.
All right.
I've been looking at everybody. I think everybody who I've seen. I mean, there might be a couple. But
there might be a couple Aussies and stuff. It's been interesting that the Aussie side of it has grown so much in the last however many months.
You know what? I did want to say something about that. You know, kudos to you guys. Seriously. You know, and I mean, you know, I love all you guys, but I gotta admit, I feel like you've taken, you know, a big lead in, you know, pushing Australian fish keepers and fish tubers, at least outside looking in, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know that might not be correct, but for me to look, I like, you know, he kind of seems like someone who's trying to bring it all together, you know. You know, congratulations to you for that, because I definitely could tell a difference.
Thank you. You're right. I work hard on that. Just because I don't have any friends, so I need to try and have people like me. No.
You have to make them. Hey, I got fish. You got fish. We're friends now, damn it.
Now pick up a camera and make a video. God. All right. So I've posted the link there, and Rob's put one up as well. So definitely check out Aqua Funk and subscribe if you like his stuff, and don't subscribe if you don't.
Yeah.
But thank you. Thanks, everybody. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock your time, 11 o'clock our time, be hanging out with some of the Aussies, just having a chat for an hour, because straight after that, which I'm really excited for, Punchy Paints is going live with her son. Can you imagine the stories we're going to find out tomorrow? That'd be good.
I'm gonna ask some serious questions.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much.
Did she beat you? Did she beat you? Did she abuse you? I bet she did.
Oh, she's like, oh no, she knows. Cool. Thank you. Stay safe, everybody. We'll catch up with a lot of you tomorrow. And Aqua Funk, you're doing a stream on Sunday night this week? Perfect.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yep.
And that is 10 o'clock Monday morning for us. So check it out. Thanks, guys.